Hi everybody, Dion here with the Turquoise Iris. I'm so thrilled that you're here, and I'm even more thrilled that you've joined me for this little chit chat girl talk with my friend Jennifer Allwood tonight, you guys. So as you come on here, say hello. I want to know where you're from. Again, it's Dion. I'm here in Oklahoma City. It's a gorgeous day. We had some baseball today. I know my friend Jennifer Allwood also had a couple of ball games today, so she's coming in and she's ready to go, but there's a ton of things going on in her world, and I am dying to ask her some questions and just share that with you guys as well. So if you do not know who Jennifer Allwood is, you may have living under a rock, as they say. Jennifer is my creative business coach for at least for the last 2 years. I'm just a huge fan of hers and everything that she stands for. She is a creative business coach to thousands of women. There she is right now. She's a podcast extraordinaire called The Jennifer Allwood Show. She's the author of The Creator's Roadmap, the host of the Equipped Conference that's coming up in just a few short weeks. She's the author of her blog, and she's 17 years experience as a business owner and a painter, and she loves her some Jesus and some glitter, and I'm so pumped that she's on here with us tonight. So let's just pull her up. Right now I am going to, there she is. Surely you guys know who she is, but she has a conference coming up in the next few weeks, and I'm going to go to Kansas City, and I'm going to finally, after 2 years, hug her neck. So we are just sending her a message. We're going to send her another message because that didn't work. So she is used to doing these through a Zoom, and well, I'm not. So she's been patient and flexible with me. There we go.
Here we go. Here we go.
There you are.
There you are.
Hey, honey.
Hi, pretty.
Hi, pretty.
Well, it made me turn my phone sideways. Since when does Facebook?
So I always have to turn my phone sideways when I do a live with someone else.
Well, just the other day I did a live with someone, and it let me keep it up and down, which I need to write Mark a letter because I really like the up and down better. It's more slimming, Dion.
Oh, you should totally. Would you do that?
Right. I think I will just go ahead on behalf of all of us women who are over 40 and go ahead and send the letter to Mark. Mark, we need
Slim us in, Mark. I always
Slim
say
us in. Give us a
Facebook,
filter.
Yes, if I always say Facebook, if you erase that dumb comment that I just said, if you could go ahead and put some editors in there and put someone on, like on payroll, to listen to what comes out of my mouth, I would really appreciate that.
It'd be amazing. Thanks for having me, honey.
Honey, thanks for doing this, and thanks for being here. I know you had some ball game. I had some ball today.
Girl, I got a little bit of sun. Got a first doubleheader of the year, so I'm a little windblown, but it's all good. We're good.
I am so thrilled that I finally get to meet you in the next few weeks.
How is this possible that we've known each other online? Because literally I stalked you, Dion. It's probably been almost 5 years ago that I found you on Pinterest. Do you remember?
Yes, of course.
And yes, and then I'm like,
so nervous.
I need to know all about this woman and everything she does. And I'm obsessed with like her peacock furniture. That's where it all began. And so yeah, finally in real life we get to
finally in real life. Yes. And so I wanted you to come on here tonight because I know a lot of my followers are also following you, and a lot of them are actually being coached by you or have been coached because you've been coaching thousands and thousands of women over the last 4 years. But I want to make sure everybody's aware of this. I'm coming to Kansas City, and I mean, we have tons of things that we can talk about. I'm going to try to narrow it down so I don't keep you all evening.
Sure, that's fine, honey.
First and foremost, I even wrote down notes and I never take notes, but first off, I have to say thank you for the last 2 years of, I can flip you on and just start listening to anything you have to say, whether it be your podcast or your lives. And I always say, how in the world does she get in here? Like, how does she get in here and know what I'm feeling and know? I know that you're a creative person as well. And so we work on both sides of our brains often. And I personally want to thank you for changing my life. You 100% have changed my professional life.
No, honey, I just exposed you to stuff you've never been exposed to before. You did the hard work. So, but you're welcome. But you did all the hard work.
So that's that
I'm
thing.
proud of you.
Thank you. And that's that thing where you say, I led you to the door, but you still had to walk through it. That
Mhm.
I say to people also. But I'm just so grateful for you. And so this conference that you have coming up, I have a few questions about it because I
Yes,
want
girl.
you to tell everybody, first off, when it is. And I actually grabbed the
Yeah.
link for you because I wanted to have it pinned right here in case anybody's interested.
Thank you.
So
Appreciate that.
when is it? Where is it? And
Yes.
please tell me, and I don't even know. I know Miss Jamie Ivy's coming. Hello.
Yes, I mean, seriously, the lineup of speakers we have is amazing. And so what's really cool though is they're doing breakout sessions. So it's May 2nd and 3rd in Kansas City, which is a magical time if you live in the Midwest to be here because things are in bloom. It's not hot as you know what yet. And it's also not, we've kind of avoided the chance of snow. Like literally we have a chance of snow on Thursday this week, Dion. I mean, it's like
baseball
Mother Nature
season.
has lost her mind, right? So we get to the baseball game today. I was sweating so much I came home and put on a tank top. By the time I got back to the game, Jason had to get me a blanket. Like that, Kansas City's weather is just weird. But by May, it's like we've been medicated. We're kind of finding like our new normal.
Good.
Yeah.
So I can
it'll be
pack
great.
a light jacket. That's all I'm going to
Yes,
do when I come
absolutely.
to see you guys. Okay,
yes,
good.
and
Okay.
that should be. It should be that. So, and if people are flying in, the event is really close to the airport, so it's not like you're going to have to be traveling through the city because sometimes people, they get a little nervous, especially us middle-aged women, about having to drive or Uber in a strange city.
Yeah.
So it's really close to the airport, which is amazing. But we do have an exceptional lineup, if I don't mind saying so myself.
Please, I want to hear because I don't even know.
Okay, so I'm speaking both days, and the conference is a mix of faith and business. And here's why, Dion. I have been to 2 handfuls probably of conferences in the last couple of years that were giving exceptional strategy when it came to business. And I was like, oh, that's a great tip on how to build my email list. That's a great tip on, Facebook ads or whatever. But I also knew the audience that I was in the room with. And as you know, I have a heart for women. I just, it's not that I don't love men, but women business owners, they're my jam.
Right.
And so I would go to these conferences and I would think, okay, so that was a great strategy that she just learned. But if when she gets back home, that same girl still doesn't believe she's worthy of making money, all that strategy in the world doesn't matter.
Right.
That was a really great tip on Facebook ads. But if that girl, when she gets home, she can't go live on Facebook because she feels vulnerable, exposed. She doesn't like, coming in front of people on a social media platform and there's deep-seated, rooted things there, then all that strategy doesn't matter. And so most of the time, Dion, and I think you will agree with me on this, and you've got your own people, amazing ladies that you're coaching right now.
Thank you.
Business literally is 80% here. People want to think that it's learning the next, sexy thing. And while that's all fine and dandy, you've got to figure out here, like if you're willing to do the next thing that's hard, if you're willing to do the next thing that's uncomfortable, are you worthy of success? Why, when you make money, do you give it all away? Why, when you start to get to a certain level of success, do you shoot yourself in the foot? Like those are the things that we're going to be talking about at this conference, in addition to a session on Facebook ads, a session on how to write a book, a session on how to start a podcast. Because it doesn't matter, like if we give you all the content on how you can get your first book published, if you are still scared to death to open up your laptop and start with sentence number 1.
Yeah.
So I think that a lot of the business conferences, that's amazing. But for me and my people, I think we need to know who God says we are, how he feels about our business. There's prayer that needs to happen. We're starting out with worship. I cannot wait. So, yeah.
I'm thrilled. It's the same type of thing.
Mouthful.
No, it's exactly what I want to hear and what I want them to hear, because why this workshop or why this conference, and why this is my first one. Like I've never done a women's
my first
conference.
one.
I know it's your first. So it's kind of like, okay, so I tell people in the paint, like when we're creating, my group is not just about like painting, because I can't paint diddly squat if there's something junking up in here, like blocking me, right? And so we go through certain things. And so I am coming to you because I know you're going to speak the truth and you are going to say things because of the experience I've had listening to you. I know that I'm going to leave with gold, and I know I'm going to come home and I'm going to be able to spread and give. And I've always been one of those people that loves motivational speakers. Like I feed off of that. Like who doesn't? But there are some people who don't.
There are some amazing motivational speakers out there. I keep getting my sleeves caught, by the way, on my chair, and it's just
I haven't
driving me
noticed.
nuts.
I'm sorry.
But But the thing is, I know like all the motivation of the world is great, but one word from God, Dion, can change everything. And it has happened over and over and over in my life. So we're really trying to just set up an atmosphere where women can hear from the Lord.
Yeah.
And they can get prayed over and they can get set free so that they can be rock stars in their home and in their business. Because, oh, by the way, ladies, if we are rocking it at work but failing at home, like who the heck cares? So, yeah, we're going to talk about priorities. But my MC is Hannah Keeley. Do you know Hannah?
I don't.
You're going to be obsessed with her. She's like, have you ever been around those people that like you want to just ask them, like, do you ever have a bad day? Because Hannah's like always happy. And she has 8 kids, Dion,
I'm jealous.
and she's got this infectious like laugh, and she's bubbly, and she's like, oh, she's just the kind of girl you want to be friends with. So she's the MC. She's going to be amazing.
Great.
And she has her own business just rocking and rolling. We have Brian Dixon, the only guy that's going to be there speaking, except Mr. Magic's going to be there as well. But
Great.
Brian is, okay, so Brian was a business coach for me years ago.
Okay.
He mentored me.
Okay.
And he has a TED Talk. So if you go to TED Talk, like just you could search for Brian Dixon TED Talk. He was in a horrible car accident when he was a teenager, not expected to live, certainly not expected to ever walk again. And yet he does marathons every single year. So his like personal story is exceptional, but he helps people get books written and launching their first course. So he's doing like a whole breakout session. Jamie Ivy, you know who she is.
Yes, I do.
She has the Happy Hour podcast.
Yeah.
She's amazing. I can speak.
I got you,
promise
girl.
it's
I got
only
you.
hot tea. And so she's going to be talking and then doing a breakout session on podcasting for anybody that's interested in starting a podcast. We have Chastity Stemmons. Please tell me you know
Yes.
Chastity.
Oh yeah, she's making.
Have you ever met her?
She's making
Have
you
you
look
ever
fine.
met her?
No,
Girl, that she's fire when it comes to what she does, because I mean, I look in my closet and I'm like, okay, I think these pants and maybe this shirt, but yes, she dresses me for all my events, but she's also an ordained minister. I don't know if you know that. And so she travels around speaking all the time. She's got a book. She's been on Dr. Oz twice in the last like 2 months, her and her husband. Yes. And talking about things that are related to relationships, marriage, family, and faith.
Wow.
So she's going to be on the stage. She's infectious, as you know. And then my friend Jenny Taylor. So I don't know if you have any MLM people, network marketers in your group. Okay. Well, but sometimes some of these paint companies are actually verging near MLM-ish and network marketing. So Jenny, she sells Roden & Fields like skin stuff, and which I use, which is amazing. And she has like, over 7 figures a year in like that. She retired her husband from professional baseball.
Wow.
So come on now,
professional
ladies,
baseball.
right? Yeah, come on now. So she's got some stuff.
Got some good stuff to
yeah,
share.
and so
Absolutely.
she teaches about how to do business in network marketing God's way. So those are like some of the speakers, and then we have a ton. Those are on the main stage. A ton of breakout sessions on email writing, on podcasting, on book doing, on Facebook ads. It's going to be amazing. So I hope you come. Invite all your friends.
Yeah, you guys so need to come. This is my first one, and I know this is your first one. So I know you struggled with this decision to do one, and you've made that very clear to everybody. You were like, I ain't doing it. But yeah, you're doing it. So why now?
Yeah.
Like, what tipped you over? Because we're the blessed ones. We're the lucky ones that get to, be a part of it.
Right.
But why now?
Here's the deal, Dion. I think there are times people want to know, when they ask me things like, okay, how have you grown your business to the size it is? Why are you so successful? I promise you that the only thing that I know for certain is that for the last 7 years, God keeps putting stuff in front of me that I'm like, no, I want nothing to do with that. And I keep feeling him nudging me. And then we get into this wrestling match where, I get on my pissy pants and he's so loving. And then finally I'm like, okay, fine. And so I had the idea of a conference one day when I was literally out taking a jog, listening to Eminem because Jesus loves him too. And felt like I should just turn off, the rap music and try to run, burn a calorie. And I was thinking about how, gosh, I wish there was a conference for women in business who are women of faith. And where we could pray, we could worship, and we could work on our business. And then I felt like God said, well, girlfriend, you should start that. And to which I was like, absolutely never. And the reason absolutely never is because if you've never held a conference for hundreds of people, it's a lot of work. It is a lot of time. It is a lot of money. It is just a lot of emotional energy. And I wasn't sure that I was up for it, quite frankly. We are signing a book deal this week. I have a book that has to be written in the next, couple of months. And so I was like, I just don't know. I just don't know. And at the end of the day, I have said on social media, I just want to be known as a yes girl in heaven. I just want God to be like, I can ask that one. I can ask Jennifer Allwood to do stuff she doesn't want to do, and she'll do it. And the conference has nothing to do with me. And it has everything to do with the women that are going to be there. And so regardless of how I feel about, the fact that I don't love being on stage, I don't love being, the center of attention, none of those things matter. And so
it's about those in the audience that need to hear, like me. And I need to hear it from you, girl. I need to hear it from these people, and that's why I'm coming. I know I need to hear this. So when you're thinking of who this is for, who is this for? Who is this conference for? Who are you talking to?
Perfect. It's for women of faith who are in business. So, I mean, you can just come if you're a woman of faith, but we're talking to the business ladies. We're talking to people like you, the painters, the crafters, the DIYers, the MLMers. I mean, we have everything from attorneys. I have coming. So it's not for just creative women. Right. This is just for all women in all walks of life who own their own business and want to take it to the next level and who love Jesus. So yeah, I'm super excited about that. And so it's going to, the thing is like, you just don't know what you just don't know, Dion. You know what I mean? And so like, we're in planning mode, and we've got, all the fancy foods and all the things coming, and we're just trusting that God's going to do something incredible there. Right. And I'm going to give as much as I can. And my, and we have one more speaker. I forgot. Okay. So did you see me open up that box of Ever Eve clothing?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have an Ever Eve in Oklahoma City?
No, we don't.
Okay, so there's 86 of them around the United States. Okay. I did not know until just a few months ago who Ever Eve was, but I was speaking at the Dave Ramsey Business Boutique event in Nashville, and I was on a panel where I was being interviewed, and the lady next to me is Megan Tempty, who owns Ever Eve. So she has 86 clothing stores, okay? First of all, 86. $114 million business. She said that on my show the other day, so I know I can share that with you. And she literally started that company because she had just had a baby and was feeling like she couldn't find anything that fit her body well. Wow. And she just started crying one day in her 20s in a dressing room. And then over the course of the next couple of years decided to start a clothing line. Now, how crazy is that? Knowing nothing about clothing.
Isn't that amazing?
She's also speaking. She'll be on the stage with me talking just about how she started that business for people, especially who are interested in a brick and mortar, who are interested in a subscription box, because now they do like subscription boxes where they send things out.
Awesome.
So anyhow, super cool. She's an amazing woman, loves the Lord, so she's going to be speaking as well.
Well, my sister-in-law just said, honey, we have one on the Class and Curve. And I'm like, I didn't know.
Okay.
So I apparently do have one. I need to go see it.
And proceed with caution.
Okay.
Okay. Because like total transparency right here. So we have 3 of them in Kansas City. We're actually having, I don't know if you have any Kansas City people here. If you're close to Kansas City this Wednesday, so this Wednesday night, we have a meet and greet at the local Ever Eve in the Oak Park Mall.
Look at you saying, hey, I'm going to be here.
Hey, so I know, but they only will let us reserve 100 people. And on Friday morning, we had 76. So I don't know how many tickets are left. Tickets are $15, and the proceeds go to an organization called Run to Stop It, which rescues women out of sex trafficking. And here locally in Kansas City, it's a heavy topic, I know, but we had to take money for something, so that was what I chose because that's what our church is super passionate about. So anyway, I will be doing the meet and greet on Wednesday. And what the heck was my point, Dion? So I was asking a couple of the girls who work for me. 2 of them are local in Kansas City, and like 4 of them are not. But Cindy Woolenhouse, who takes care of all of my community management stuff, I'm like, hey, could you go and just like scout out, the store? Like, is there going to be a great place for us to take photos? How's the lighting? Do I need extra bronzer on the face? So I'm like, just go check it out for me.
Yes, girl.
Cindy came home with like a couple bags full. I mean, she went to scout the store and came home with some cute clothes. I'm just saying,
be prepared. Be prepared.
Because the stuff is cute. It's really cute. So.
I'm going to have to check into that. And, as I'm sitting here listening to you and you're saying you were not sure and you just like, no, God, no. You do, like, you realize this is, that you are made for this, girl. Like, you may not feel that. But as me looking at you, I'm like, of course it's Jennifer Allwood doing this. Like, it's like right in line with everything that you can do, and that, and sometimes
thank you, honey.
Sometimes we just need you to do it. Like, We need you.
Well, I can't be talking to women about doing things they're scared to do, which, by the way, is the whole premise of my book, when I am not willing to do the same exact thing. So it's like God's got me walking out in real time
Yes.
what I'm trying to teach thousands of other women every month.
Yes.
So, that's vulnerable and uncomfortable at
It's
times.
uncomfortable. Don't you think you've been uncomfortable for like the past 4 years?
7 years, girl. We're going on 7
7 years. I've
of
been
just
uncomfortable every
majorly
stinking day
uncomfortable.
with these stinking decisions. And when you decide that faith has to be over fear, you've just got to let it go. And so I cannot stinking wait. And so I think about, 17 years ago, you started your creative painting business. And what would you think right now if someone had told you 17 years ago,
my
you're
gosh.
going to be a creative business coach standing on stage?
No, because my story that I took speech in my first year of college, so that I would never, ever have to take speech again, because I thought to myself, if I'm in college for the next 4 years, and then, by the way, I dropped out because I couldn't renew my scholarship because I had way too much fun, Dion. I mean, that's the bottom line. I was a knucklehead for a decade. But in my head, I was like, I will have like nervous diarrhea for 4 years if I know I'm going to take speech at some point. So let's just get it over with. Let's just pull the Band-Aid off, and then I can live the rest of my life speech-free.
Yeah.
Like never talking in front of people ever again. And then here we are. And God just I speak for a living at this point, like either on my podcast or on Facebook Lives or in my coaching group or on stages. And
it's crazy.
Yes, and one of the things, Chastity, who's going to be speaking on stage, that she was talking to me about, well, it's been a year or two ago. I was telling her, she's like, tell me why you're so nervous on stage. Because she says, they can't tell I'm nervous, but on the inside, I'm like dying. And I told her, I said, I remember when Chip and Joanna Gaines were speaking in Kansas City, and I was the Chip and Jo sandwich. So it's Chip and Joanna were speaking, then Jennifer Allwood speaking, and then Chip and Joanna are speaking. And there was over 2,000 people in the audience, Dion, and more trying to come in, and security was trying to get them out. It's when Chip and Jo were just exploding. And I can just remember looking out thinking, oh my gosh, I've never seen, this many people in a room ever. I will surely die on this stage. And, I told her, I think it maybe started, that was, that's intense. When you're the Chip and Jo sandwich, and darn good and well, everybody's just there to wait for Chip and Jo, that's intense. But, she told me, this is interesting, that when God gives you the ability and the gift of speaking, it's not just that you're good on radio, you're good on TV, you're good on Facebook Live, you're good in coaching, and then you stink on stage. Like, it's the gift of speaking is the gift of speaking. And when she told me that, I was like, oh, okay. And then I was like, that's right. And so I'm still nervous. I just spoke last weekend in Dallas, still nervous, but didn't die. And it gets easier every time. And it literally, like 5 to 10 minutes into it, then I'm not in the least bit even nervous again. I know I spoke in Florida to a bunch of painters a couple months ago, and I was supposed to speak, I think, for 45 minutes, and I went an hour and a half. They had to pretty much kick me off at that point because dinner was being served. But I just kept going, girl. I just kept going. So the girl who swears I don't like to speak, I think maybe subconsciously I actually really enjoy it. But either way, I know the Lord's already put on my heart to things that He really wants me to talk to the women about at the conference, and I'm super excited about it.
Well, it's rewarding for you, and I know that it is just for me. Just when I even have my little classes, when you feel like you connect and you feel like, you can just feel that person receiving what you're saying and then really accepting it, and it goes a long way. And I was that girl in college that stood up and had to do 6 speeches. And Jennifer, I cried through every one of them because I was so nervous, and I was so mad that teacher was making me go through it. I'm like, can I just take a C?
Yeah.
Like, can I just take a C?
And isn't it funny? God's like, nope, girl, you are not meant to be sitting.
No. And so, then here we are. And so right now I'm seeing a lot of familiar faces and a lot of familiar little profiles that are just such big fans of yours. And I have a couple of questions that I kind of want to ask you because one of them is, okay, so what advice, because I think these are your people right here. So what advice do you have for someone struggling with negativity or comparison, or like that whole, because you've been very open over the last few years of where you've gone through struggles and like diversity and professionally and personally. So what kind of advice, because these are your people that need to come and see you. And so what kind of advice do you have for them on how to handle the negativity that goes along with a woman in business?
Well, you know what? So at the end of the day, for me, Dion, I've had to figure out that regardless of what anybody else thinks about what I'm doing, even people, who perhaps I love or, we're close, and that's fine. They can have their opinion. However, God's instruction for my life always has to trump those. And so, number one, I always go back to that, just that regardless of what anybody else thinks, I still want to be known as a yes girl in heaven. And so that means, as and the thing is, God's never going to ask you to do anything that your husband is completely not on board with, or that's going to be harmful. You know what I mean? So it's not like he's asking me to rob a bank, for goodness sakes.
Right.
So there's that. And then when it comes to like negativity or dealing with drama, I have had an epiphany at several different points in my career. And this maybe sounds like a little brass, like I don't want to tell women to suck it up. That's not what I'm saying. But I know that before I've had this thought, Dion, if I can't handle the stress and the pressure at this level, how do I expect God to elevate me to the next one? And so I have to figure out, okay, am I going to be okay with the fact that people maybe aren't on board? They don't like what I'm doing. They are leaving my Facebook page. They, whatever. And the truth is, I have to be okay with that. I'm not for everybody. You're not for everybody.
No.
I mean, how somebody couldn't like Dion is beyond me. But I love that saying that you could be like the sweetest peach in the whole wide world, and still there will be somebody who doesn't love peaches. And so you're not for everyone.
Yes.
And so I think women really need to figure that out. The thing with creative women is this: we are such heart-centered entrepreneurs that to know that there's drama, to sense somebody not liking us, to sense that, because we're feelers as women creatives, we feel, and you can walk into a room, and as a woman anyway, you can sense, some stuff. I know there's a little something going on here. I can tell she don't like me over there. You can tell that. And so as a woman, that is so difficult to navigate through when, as your business grows, you have to have hard conversations. There's going to be things that need to be confronted. There's going to be things that you need to say no to that will be offensive to people. You run the risk of, offending, hurting. People want you to do one thing and you have to tell them no. All of that happens at every level of business. And I just have to keep reminding myself, if I can't handle it now, Dion, I have to be faithful with where God currently has me. Or how can he ever give me any more? And so I try to remember that. And
that's so good. That's really, really good. And that brings me to like boundaries. Like it's so hard to, what's acceptable and what's not. And the whole knowing that people are going to come into your life. And I have to believe that when they've gone, there was something to be learned from that. They were here for a reason. And whether I thought they were there to stick around, maybe not. Like, I have to take the positive side of that to move forward and be better than I was yesterday.
Yeah, I really used to struggle, Dion, with losing relationships as an adult. I've had, like, my two closest girlfriends, one of them has been my best friend since we were in grade school. And the other one, we're going on 20 years. Okay. So, I tend to like have people hanging out for a hot minute. And I like that. I like that really deep friendship. I am not a friend jumper. And so, but I have as an adult woman lost a few friendships that were precious to me. And I've had to come to the conclusion that some of those relationships and friendships are for a season only. And there was, I would have told you a decade ago, I would have been like, nope, when we're friends for life. And that's the way it is. But I think God he will bring certain people in. And then there's certain times he has to remove certain people, because where you're going next, they literally can't go with you. They will either hold you back or you will hold them back, whether it's in business, friendship, family, whatever. And I'm not one for dumping people. That's not what I'm talking about. But I am talking about good boundaries. And so, as I've gotten my head around that as a grown woman, and, are there relationships that I wish that at times I have done better in? Absolutely. But I also have gotten okay with just knowing, you know what, I still wish that had went differently than it did. However, I've tried to make amends. They've tried to make whatever. I mean, and the thing is, I think we think there always has to be drama involved, and there really doesn't. But sometimes, God will have people in your life for a hot moment, and then they kind of just have to, they can't be in your inner circle anymore. In order for you to go where you need to go.
That is so good. See, you
Well, I
just
don't
say
know.
things right. Like, I don't know. Yeah. Like,
Tell
you
that
just,
to my kids and husband, will
I
you?
say
You
the
tell them,
same thing.
you tell
Someone will
them.
go, Dion, you're awesome. I'm like, could I grab Matt for just 1 second? Let him come on
Yes,
in here. I need my
yes.
17-year-old to hear that, because yours are 17 to 4.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
that is a
I still have to wrap my head around that four. Yeah. Yep.
not 17 and 11 anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's that question I get a lot, is how do you do it all? And you talk
Mhm.
about this a lot online and a lot on your podcast and social media. Um,
Yeah.
Sunday is family day. I know this, but
Hmm.
here you are with me. And so
Yes.
it's hard to balance things. I know that Jason's probably cooking
Hmm.
dinner right now. I know that,
Oh, we
someone's
just got done,
entertaining
girl.
Ari. Oh, you
Yep.
just got done.
Yep.
Someone's,
I had her in the bath while I was back home in my hair, sister. So,
yes.
there's very few people that I would do a Sunday Facebook Live with, but you're one of them.
Oh gosh, don't make me cry
And
for
the
nothing.
truth is, there are seasons when I think we can and should push hard in our business. But I think that the world is trying to tell women a lie, that they can have everything. You certainly can have everything, but you cannot have it at once. And anytime I say yes to something, I am inevitably saying no to something else. And so and it might not be a malicious no, my family may not be offended, but I'm saying yes to you right now, Dion. I'm saying no to my family. Are they fine for 30 minutes? Absolutely. But I think that we can't ever forget the fact, ladies, that we can be really winning at work and failing at home. And so what I'm always trying to coach my women is,
Yeah.
man, turn that crap off. Give your family the attention that they deserve. When you put your priorities in order, which is God, spouse, kids, and work, then God, he can work so much with that. And I know for a decade, Dion, when I had my decorative painting company, and by the way, I'm really scared my phone is about to die. Can I plug it in, but then I'll have to unplug this? Is that going to be bad?
If you unplug that, there's going to be a lot of feedback and background noise, and so we
Okay.
probably
So
won't.
we'll just keep going until I die, until
Okay.
I just disappear off the screen.
Okay. No worries. No worries.
But I know for that decade, Jason and I really felt that I was supposed to stay home and raise the kids. I wanted to be home with them, but I had this great painting business. And so we were like, well, how the heck do we balance this thing? And so I had other women that came and painted for me. I stayed home and did the marketing and raised the babies. And finally, when the kids were all in kindergarten, I can remember, Dion, thinking, all the other painters are just passing me by. Like, they're going to all these schools and they're connecting with each other and networking with each other. And I'm clearing up vomit again today from two little boys, less than 2 years apart. What were we thinking, Lord Jesus? A nurse and a baby at the same time. And I just remember, and we did 3 episodes of Extreme Home Makeover. I can remember changing, I don't remember which of my 3 bio kids it was, but changing dirty diapers while on the phone with a producer from ABC at the same time, Dion, thinking, please, Lord, just don't let, the baby start crying. And so I can just remember,
right?
It's so glamorous. But I can remember having a breast pump. This might be too much for your audience, but literally, I can remember having to pump milk in a new construction site because I would wait till Jason got home at night, and on occasion I would go paint for a couple hours in the evening, and he would take care of the baby. And so I can remember just one time in particular because we had a deadline for a house, which, by the way, one pick of the parade, so it was totally worth it. But I can remember having to sit with like a shop light in a new construction site in a pantry with a breast pump, and so as moms,
mamas are
sometimes
amazing.
We just make sacrifices, and God sees every one of those things, and every one of those dirty diapers, and pumping in a closet, and taking a phone call while you're tending to those babies. They matter. I don't regret one single second, giving my family my priority. And then when they finally got all into school, I was like, all right, Lord, let's go. And it is amazing how he just duplicates. It's like he made up the time, Dion. It's like, he's like, okay, Jen, I know you've had things on hold for 10 months. Let me just give it all to you now in the next 2 years. And so there's that. And then now, so funny, we're back to a toddler again. But
Back to a toddler, because life is funny, girl. Life is funny.
God's funny. Don't ever tell me he don't have a sense of humor.
You said God wouldn't give you something you weren't ready for, and by God, you're ready.
Oh, I think he often gives us stuff we're not ready for. Actually, I do, because when you get a new 4-year-old who comes from hard places, it's amazing how just your perspective about things will change. And We're so blessed to have her.
Yeah, you
She's
are.
she's
You are.
changing us every single day, and we didn't even know we needed change. Do you
You
know?
didn't even, oh yeah,
So
you didn't
good.
know it.
Yeah.
You didn't know it. Um, have you ever got to a point, Jennifer, along this where you thought, I can't do this?
I'm gonna quit. Yeah.
Yeah,
Last Wednesday, which is what, 4 or 5 days ago. Yep.
yeah.
Had me a little, yeah, had me an absolute tantrum. Not
Oh,
really, but I sat down at the bar with my husband, not like the bar drinking bar, but the the island in the kitchen
the
bar.
island, gotcha.
And I'm just like, you know what? It's too hard. This is too hard. I've got the book deal trying to, and picking out an editor, like people sending me books and they're wanting answers, Deanna, and that feels pressury.
Yeah.
And then I've got the conference, and the conference feels big. It feels like a lot of responsibility. I feel like I need to do this so well for God's women. And, and so I take that very seriously. And
Yeah, I
then
know you
we were
do.
just finishing our creator's roadmap. And oh, by the way, we have, a toddler and 3 other kids. And so I told Jason, I said, it just all feels like too much. And, today I just feel like being done. And of course, 30 minutes later, I was fine.
You got it.
But
You're back.
yeah.
You're good.
But I mean, I think if anyone is being honest, I think that's a very real emotion
Yeah.
that, at any level.
Yes.
There's times when it just feels big and it feels hard
feels
and
big.
it feels vulnerable and it feels like it would be easier to just go get a job at Hobby Lobby and get their discount, for God's sake. You know what I mean?
Wouldn't
And
that
then I
be
could be buying
fabulous?
some more things. Yes. So yeah, I quit last week and here we are.
And here you are. And I used to tell people that
Yeah.
all the time, Jennifer. I say, I have quit shipping this stinking furniture so many times because it's a hassle and I don't want to do it anymore.
It is.
And, well, I'm skipping through my questions really quickly.
Oh, you're
and
fine, honey.
I don't want to keep you. From my perspective, Jennifer, I look at you and I think you are made for this. Like, you are the perfect person to be leading the way and leading these women of faith. And they look to you, but also I give you grace. I give you, if you want to quit on a Wednesday, you know what I mean? Like, because I need people to forgive me if I just don't get it right, and I don't get it right at least several times a day.
God never said it wouldn't be hard.
Yeah, or everybody would be doing
and
it.
I was talking to somebody the other day, Dion, about going back and doing, we had kindergarten roundup 2 weeks ago. And, Jason and I had kind of just gotten to this place in the last year, if I can, just be bold enough to say it, where he was able to come home from corporate America. Yeah. We bought a new house. We've been remodeling it. He loves to golf. I love to watch him golf. So we were having, morning coffee and on the deck every morning. And we had kind of just gotten to this place of
It's pretty
ease.
cozy. It's pretty cozy.
I'm just being completely honest. I told Jason the other day, I was like, it's like that song, looks like we made it. Like that, I was like, we were drinking coffee. The kids have all gone to school. It was like, the kids went back to school in August. And we also got the phone call about Ari in August. We had 3 weeks between the looks like we made it and we took in a toddler. And so I was telling somebody this the other day and they're like, oh my gosh, are you freaking out? Are you freaking out? Because there's things we have. She's still in relationship with her biological family. We have not adopted her. We're just legal guardians. Okay. So at any time, that could be something. And so I was like, you know what? It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. And then I stopped and I said, you know what? It's not even that it's all good. It's all God. It's like, it's not even that it's all good. It's just all God. And so the same thing with the conference, the same thing with the business, the same thing just with all of the things. And he never said it wouldn't be hard. And I did do a Facebook Live today and I just said, for people doing things for the first time. So maybe that's Dion, one of your people.
I listened.
Did you hear it? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, and Jason and I, we're first time Christians in our family and we're doing this entrepreneur thing for the first time. We don't have a past. Like, it's not like my, parents sat me down and taught me how to, run a business. I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm guessing from day to day. And so I think for the first timers, you're doing your first course, you're painting your first piece of furniture, you're doing your first Facebook post on your brand new page. Yeah. There is so much resistance spiritually to that. We're doing our first conference. So the resistance is for real. And, but God is realer. And so it's okay. It's all good. It's all good.
Girl, this is going to be so good. Like, I never had a big wedding. We ran away to Jamaica and got married, but
I love it.
It's that same thing where you want it to be perfect. And then at the end of the day, you look back and say, that didn't go right. That didn't go right. But at the end of the day, everybody had a
Yeah.
great time. Everybody was beautiful and everything. And your conference is going to just be exceptional. It's going to be way better than you even imagined, girlfriend.
Thanks,
The
honey.
feeling that's going to be in there and the aura, that the positivity that's going to be in the room. I am so grateful I get to be a part of. I'm so glad I made the
Thank you.
jump to do
Thank you
it.
for coming.
And
Yes.
I'm so
Appreciate
thrilled
you.
that I get to do this. And you guys, I want you to go. If you can go, I want you to come. I want you just to be a part of that community, because I think even as a business owner, but even just as a woman, coming home, you're going to be better when you get home. Like, I just
Yeah.
feel like you're going to
Well,
absorb
and
that.
I did have somebody ask me, Dion, she said, I haven't been to church in like 2 decades. And I'm like, and? Come on, girl. I mean, this is a great time. What better time to, to don't be intimidated by that.
Right.
It's like,
Right.
it's gonna be amazing. And so I've had people say, I don't know anybody. Well, come on. I mean, how are you going to meet anybody? The truth is it's hard enough in business, Dion, to do things that it's so much harder to do them alone. And there've been times in my business where I was very lonely.
Yeah.
And when I think about the relationships that I've made with women that I've met at conferences and how
amazing.
that has just blessed my life. But even, I mean, from a biblical perspective, we were not meant to live alone. Even, I mean, we can go back to Adam in the garden. That's why we got Eve, because it wasn't good for him to be alone. We weren't meant to be alone at any point. Because when you're alone, you can kind of like believe your own stinking thinking.
Yeah.
You can, go off onto, rabbit trails. I mean, it's, loneliness. I just was reading a study the other day, Dion. I don't know why this popped in my head, but loneliness is, they're saying, is one of the #1 killers in America right now, in addition to heart disease and cancer. Loneliness. Can you imagine? We're more connected, than ever before on this.
Yeah.
And lonelier than ever. Isn't
And
that
lonely in
sad?
here. Yeah, that is
Yeah.
awfully sad.
It's really sad. And so people don't have to be alone. There's a whole community of like-minded women that are going to be here. And we're trying our best to set the stage for relationships and, people to partner together and
Yeah.
be able just to find one another. So thank you for
Community.
letting me talk
Oh
about
my
it.
goodness,
Community
of
is so
course.
important.
Community is so important.
Yes.
And someone asked me a couple of years ago when I was in this business, I was interviewed for something. And they said, what is your greatest fear? And that was my answer. It's being alone. And I know that I have people around, but just the idea of being alone, it's so fearful. So that makes sense to me, that someone,
Yeah.
that what it can do to someone physically and in their life.
Yes.
But I'm thrilled, and this is important to me. You're important to me.
Yeah.
And I think you understand, because you've had mentors that you've looked up to, but you are so special and so unique, and so
Thank you, honey.
you've played a big part in my life. And
Thanks,
I am
sweetie.
so honored that you came on here with me this evening, but that you have continued to be a role model in my life, because I need that. I need that, and I look to you for that. But I don't expect you to be perfect, and I don't expect you to just be
Thanks, honey.
always.
Well, it's never going to happen, girlfriend. I'm wearing pajama bottoms right now. I mean, let's be honest. As soon as we hit done here, girl, it is so not perfect. But
Not a problem.
I love what you're doing, Dion, and it's so interesting, because I've had mentors really speak into my life, and I feel a deep responsibility to speak into others, especially creative women's lives, and just encourage them. Because you know what, I'll never forget the first woman who looked at me, one of my mentors, and she said, Jennifer, you were made for this. I'll never forget that. I thought, what? I'm made, and just like I said, one word from God can change everything, and he used her mouth for that word, and that changed everything for me. Just knowing that somebody else saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. And so I love that I've gotten to do that with a couple women, you being one of them. Like, I saw you on Pinterest, and I'm like, oh, that girl, she's something right there. She has got a talent right there. It makes the hair stand up on my arms. There's a couple of creatives in your group too that I know that God has I just love them. I haven't met most of them ever in person, and I'm like, oh, there's something there. Man, they're made for that. And then what's so amazing is that you girls are doing that to other people too. And it's amazing to watch, and the community you've built is amazing. And so thank you for trusting me with them tonight.
But it just goes right back to, you gave me the belief that I felt like I could. And it's like, she gives me confidence just by speaking the word and the truth.
You're awesome.
And somehow that that has been effective for me. And I'm just so grateful. You guys
Yeah.
come to Kansas City. It's
Yeah. Are
May
you doing
2nd
a
and
little
3rd.
meetup with your people if they come, Dion? Like, I'm
Well,
totally putting you on the spot.
no. We're working on that this month. We've got
Are
to line
you?
it out. I
Oh,
got to
good.
figure out who's coming, and so I
Yeah.
can meet up with them. I need to look back at our schedule for the
Yeah.
conference because that
So
part
there's
and
time Thursday night, and then I know there's a couple meetups going on Friday morning, like for people who are in like writing groups and trying to get their first book written. They're doing a
awesome.
meetup right before the conference because I think we start at 9. And then we've got so many like creatives who are going to be there with as vendors selling things. I think you know
Awesome.
Anna Marie, don't you, from
Yes.
Inspired by You Jewelry? Like
Yes.
she's got a booth, and Anna Bannister from Renewed Home Studios, she's got a booth, and so there's going to be things to buy and shopping. It's going to be so much fun.
Well,
So
I'm
thank
going to
you.
just bring my painting and someone's going to get to win it as a door prize. So,
Oh, can we? Yes. So thank you for saying yes to that. I just like, Dion, we need a couple more door prizes. And what would you think about pay? And she was like, yes. I love that this is what I told my
of
team.
course.
I can always count on Dion for that. Yes. Thank you for just offering. You sent me the most beautiful painting recently
Oh,
for
Ava.
Ava. And
Yeah,
yes. And
you're
so
very
special
welcome.
for
I'm
us.
happy to
So
bring it and I'm happy that you would even ask me. Are you kidding me?
yeah.
That's just I feel like I will just always be so grateful for you. I just always will be. So,
You're awesome. Love you,
anyway,
sweetie.
I love you too and in a
All
few
right.
weeks I'll
I'm going
see
to
you.
drop off only because I'm at 2%.
Yep.
And so I know it's going to die at
Yep.
any second. But thank
Thank you,
you for
Jennifer.
having me here.
I
All right,
appreciate it. I'll
sweetie.
talk to you
Bye
soon.
bye. Okay.
Bye. You guys, if you're just now popping on here, that is Miss Jennifer Allwood. She is my mentor for the last 2 years. She's my creative business coach. I have been in her inner circle. I've taken her creator's roadmap course. I try to absorb everything that fabulous woman has to say. She is doing her very first women's conference. It's May 2nd and 3rd in Kansas City. I'm going. It's my very first conference that I made myself buy a ticket. It's like I made myself say, you can do this. You deserve to do this. So I'm going to get in my car and I'm going to drive 5.5 hours to Kansas City. I've never done that. I'm doing something I've never done for the first time. I'm going to stay in a hotel by myself. Never done that. And I'm going to go to this conference and I know I'm going to be surrounded. I am a VIP, Tamara. I did buy a VIP ticket. I will be hanging out with the Allwoods in their home the night before on the 1st. So I'm pumped. I'm going to do a happy dance in her her basement. She doesn't even know that I'm going to take my shoes off and do a little break dancing. No, I'm so not going to do that. God, if I do that, don't let me do that. If someone's there, don't let me do that. I was totally kidding. But I am super excited. But again, it's something I needed to do for myself. It's when we give, and I need to be rejuvenated. And I never do a whole lot for myself. It's all mom, it's all this. Um, she has opened a lot of doors for a lot of people because she's willing to give all of her information. She learns it, she gives it. She learns it, she gives it. She learns it, she gives it. And she's just a wonderful role model for me as a businesswoman. I don't have anybody in my family that's a creative entrepreneur or an entrepreneur in general. So this um, this online space with her leading the way gives me something to look for. It gives me something to follow. And I know that a lot of us need that. So if you are on the fence about going to the conference and you're able to swing, for the ticket, for the hotel or whatever it is, if you're able to do it, I highly recommend you do it. I just have complete faith that you're going to go home with so much that you didn't even know you needed. You know what I mean? So anyway, thanks you guys for coming on here. I know that if you have any questions, it's called the Equipped Conference. I pinned the link. I'm going to put the link right here again. You can get the information and get the ticket there. It will show you all of the speakers that are coming. And I think she said she had 6 or 7 of them. It's going to be a great time. And I look forward to meeting you. For those that are going and that are especially in my Creative Connection too, we will need to find a time so we can meet up. And so brace yourself because I'm a hugger. Okay. All right, you guys, thanks for joining me on Sunday. I hope you have a wonderful week. And guess what? Now you just got to get out of here and go be awesome. All right. Good night. And thanks, Jennifer. Thank you so much.